The 10 basic stops.
Yes, sir.
That's on page 49 of the textbook for victims of racism.
Yes, sir.
Yes, well, some people have been misinterpreted that on their own, I guess, but the first one is stop snitching.
Yes.
All right, but snitching doesn't mean what has, in this world in which the white supremacists watch everything, and they will put out something in the mind of some black person who probably is already thinking about doing someone some harm, because that's what we are taught. We're taught to glorify doing harm. Not doing something constructive, but doing harm. Brag about doing harm. So, many people have took the position of snitching means you can go out and kill people or steal somebody's car or something, or break into somebody's house, and if someone sees you doing it, they're not supposed to so-called snitch. No, that's not what it means. Snitching means you are going to do harm to someone unjustly. You go and inform someone about someone else to do harm to that person and harm that person unjustly. The person didn't do anything that warrants harm, but you go and carry a message to someone who is powerful about someone who is powerless, so that harm comes to the person that is powerless. That's what snitching is. Someone informing to the white supremacists on someone who is trying to do justice and telling them about something that the white supremacists can use against the person to do harm to them so that they can't help to do justice. That's what snitching is. That needs to be stopped. Passing on information. Snitching is a form of espionage. It's a form of giving information to someone who believes in doing harm to people, so that they can do more harm to people who are trying to do no harm. People who are trying to do something constructive, like produce justice. And then you try to harm that person by carrying messages about that person that are harmful. That's what snitching means. If someone is deliberately trying to do unjust harm, you give information. That is not snitching. That's giving information, and that information should be given. No one, anyone who goes out here and carjacks someone and comes and hides under somebody's porch, everybody should point out where the porch is and who's hiding under it. If you have nerve enough and you think you're tough enough and you think you got enough going for you to take somebody's vehicle and shoot them in the head and then go and try to hide, the very fact that you ran and tried to hide means you don't deserve anything. You gave up everything right there. There's a slogan, it's not in the code book, but it's one that will be in the next editions. Stand by your work. In other words, whatever you do, stand by your work. If you're a carjacker, you're a gangbanger, if you're a person that likes to do harm to people, you want to rob some old lady on a bus stop, don't run. Stand there and say, yes, I did it, and the reason I did it is because I'm supposed to do it. Because that's what I do. That's my business. That's the business I have chosen, as they say in the Corleones, as they say in the movie The Godfather. This is the business we have chosen. So if this is the business you have chosen, brag about your business to the whole world, including everybody who doesn't like it. And if a whole army comes after you, you should stand there and say, bring them on, because this is the business I have chosen. I'm not running, and I'm not hiding. Now, the very fact that you're hiding under your grandmother's porch causing her a whole lot of misery means you're not worth doing what you did, and you shouldn't be defended. No one should speak in your behalf, including your grandmother. Now, that should be the policy all over the world. Black people should make that rule for ourselves. And don't start talking about, well, you all shouldn't, you turn me in, you turn your back on me, and you turn your back on yourself. That's right. Around here terrorizing the whole neighborhood that you grew up in. You're making no sense at all. You're not logical. And think that you're going to be protected, or should be, by whom? You didn't do anything to protect the person who was trying to make it to work that morning. And you killed them on their way to work and took that $20 and considered yourself Superman. Well, now, if you consider yourself Superman, save yourself, Superman, from anybody that doesn't like it, meaning a whole army if it comes after you. Don't run from them, run to them. And prove that you're super. But when you run down the alley, trying to find a place to hide in a trash bin, you just gave yourself away as not being very much to you. And you know it. You don't have to wait for anybody to tell you that. You know that. So who are you trying to kid, yourself? That's a decision. And that's under that 10 stops.
Yes.
See about that snitching thing. No. Nobody's snitching on you. Did you do anything that you shouldn't have done? If anybody tells it, they didn't snitch. They gave constructive information. That's what that's called. Because you are not entitled to any protection at all. Once you start running, you should keep running, as long as you can find something to step on. Because you should be welcome nowhere on the planet. Who should welcome you? Stop and think about it. Who should welcome you? Who should open a door for you anywhere after you do something like that? Shoot somebody 5 times in the head just to take their car to go joyriding. Absolutely not. The code says that once you do something like that and realize that you did it, if you suddenly snapped, then you have an obligation to do one thing: shoot yourself. 5 times in the head if you can. End of that story.
Yes,
nothing else less than that. Yes. That's all you're entitled to. You take somebody away from here deliberately and unjustly, you're supposed to go yourself as soon as possible. Why? Why go yourself? To apologize. You don't apologize to the people later on in court. The person that you killed is not there. That's who you apologize to. And there's one way to do that. You go where they went. A nice, cozy grave. Now that I've been saying in the last 5 minutes or so should be repeated all over the world. No, you don't do harm to people and then think that somebody's supposed to cover for you. You are absolutely insane for your mind even go in that direction. You cover for yourself. If you're big enough to do it, stand by your work. If anybody else is even caught and accused of doing what you did, you should say, wait a minute, you got the wrong person. I did that. I stand by my work. I don't run and hide. And if I get a chance, I'll do it again, because that's what I do. That's why I did it the first time. You think I don't know what I'm doing? I know what I'm doing. This is the business I have chosen. That's the way you're supposed to talk. Now, if you can't talk that way, don't do it. Because part of the code says nobody's supposed to cover for you.
The second.
I mean, that nonsense should stop. And that's the way to stop it. That's the way to stop it. We should set the benchmark for universal man and universal woman, and none of that stuff should ever happen. We should pioneer that. The white supremacists have already showed us all different kinds of ways to mistreat people. We shouldn't be no part of any of that. Don't write any more songs about it. Write some songs about treating people the way people ought to be treated. After you get used to it, you'll like it.